And that was Billy and the Jerkwoods with I Love Kittens. Hey everybody, Big Danny D here, and you're listening to K-Pop, KPOP 99.2 on your radio dial. Currently quarter past the hour and about 75 degrees outside. Just pulled this off the wire and it looks like, according to the National News Service, the dead have begun to rise and are feasting on human flesh. Yikes. That's going to put a damper on anyone's weekends planned, I guess. Hey, anyway, remember the phrase that pays, Big Danny D, cashola payola. If you are the 10th caller with that phrase, you get 2 tickets to Bon Jovi this weekend at the War Memorial. Let's go to the phones. Hey, caller, Big Danny D here. You're on the air with the phrase that pays. Caller, do you have the phrase that pays? Caller, you are on K-Pop. You are way off with the phrase. Caller, well, you know what? We think we lost him there. We're going to be giving these tickets away all weekend long, guys, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more of Big Daddy D on KPOP 99.2 on your radio dial.
Places, everyone. Demented Revolution opening in 5.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
4.
I'm the king of the world!
3.
Let's put a smile on that face.
2.
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker!
The revolution will not be televised.
This revolution will be podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Demented Revolution.
Welcome, recruits. It is time for the Demented Revolution.
Welcome back, revolutionaries.
Hey guys, what's going on?
As always, I am Codename Wayne.
Codename Joe.
And I'm codenamed Shannon.
We appreciate all the cards and letters we received from our first American debut of the Demented Revolution. Still going strong in Oslo, Norway, surprisingly, and Iceland.
The resistance is growing every day.
So become a part of the growing Demented Revolution by Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and every place else you can find. Just type in Demented Revolution on all of your favorite platforms. We'll be there. We are not anonymous. We have names. So they're anonymous. Take that. This is Joe talking. Please come after Joe. Anyway.
Oh, did you hear that sound? It's getting to know you.
And one of our favorite segments of the show, Getting to Know You.
Bow, bow, bow. Getting to know you. Chicka, chicka, chicka. Know you.
Joe, is there anything new you'd like to share with all of our recruits?
Nope, just joined the...
Nope. Screw you.
Just joined the revolution. I'm feeling good about it. Feeling strong. We're growing every day. A huge horror buff. Loved Batman vs Superman. Fuck, I was there for this.
Anything new happened, Joe? What's going on in Joe's life? Joe, talk to me. Show me on the dial where he touched you.
No, I just I seriously don't know what the fuck to say. Go, Wayne. Go. Getting to know you.
Getting to know me. I like the color blue. Slow walks in the rain. After I have murdered somebody. No, of course not. I'd like to run after that. Really nothing to say. I do have some exciting things coming up in the show, though. I have some pros about cons information that just happened recently. Some stuff regarding San Diego Comic-Con. Very exciting stuff. I don't know if I can live up to that, but it is news nonetheless. And we have a good show for you today. Very excited about that. But before we digress, Shannon, let's get to know you. What's going on in Shannon's world?
Actually nothing much, but
This is the most boring podcast ever.
But last week I was obviously pretending to be Oprah because who wouldn't?
Excuse me? Pretending?
I know.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
I know, but I just thought I would say a little bit more about myself. Okay, so I was born in a state that unfortunately gets a lot of bad press nationwide.
Utah. If I guess it, will you tell me?
Does it really matter?
Is it Rhode Island?
It gets a lot of bad press. Rhode Island.
Oh my God, Rhode Island is the worst.
Mississippi is bad. They literally have a song called Mississippi Goddamn. It's so bad. But no, it's not.
As in, is it a gospel song? Like, God damn us.
No, it's a song about racism. You know.
No, what is the state? I gotta know.
Wait. I'm still guessing. Is it Washington?
No, it's the state that we're in now. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Panic. Don't tell me. Spoiler.
Okay.
All right. So you were born and reared here, as they say, in some cultures.
Yes.
Joe's culture.
Yes and no. I was here until I was 14. And my mom is from the Caribbean, so we have a lot
I'm sorry.
of...
I have to interrupt you. It's Caribbean.
Yeah, I
my
didn't know
God.
what you're talking about there.
You're showing
don't
your
know.
non-education, Shannon.
Non-education. I spent... Okay, look, all right.
You're uneducated.
So my mom is from the Caribbean, and
Low rent. All right.
so she has
What part of the Caribbean is she from? See how I slipped that in there? See what I did?
Really,
That was
really.
good. That was good.
She's from St. Vincent. So she's from St. Vincent,
Ooh.
and she was the youngest of 13. Yeah.
13 what?
13
People?
hatchlings.
Wow.
People.
Hatchlings. Well, Shannon, you are showing a side of us that we've never known. So 13. She had 13 family members, 13 brothers and sisters.
She had 12. She was
12.
the youngest of 13 in total.
I see how that works. I did not know there would be math. I apologize. For
So
my
Christmas
mistake.
time, you're just getting loads of letters.
Actually, no.
From the Caribbean.
Most of them are actually quite old, since my mom was the youngest, and the oldest one is approaching 100 now.
Ooh, and still
Oh.
alive?
Yes, actually, yes.
I guess she would be if she's approaching it.
If she's approaching 100, yeah, she is.
Strong
she's
family.
she's the undead.
Because she was actually so much older than my mother that they never actually called her by her first name. They just called her Miss Palmer.
They called her Oldie McOld.
They called her Miss Palmer because it's your sister, but she's like 20 odd
So
years older
you have
than
an aunt that is almost 100 years old.
Yes.
Do you call her Antique? Hilarious.
Oh.
Really?
Ancestor? What?
Oh, God. I call her Miss
we
Palmer.
have fun at the Demented Revolution.
I call her Miss Palmer. She lives in the UK. I actually lived in the UK for like 7 years.
That sounds like the beginning of a dirty limerick. I
7
know Miss
years.
Palmer, who lives in the UK.
Yeah, 7 years is a long time. I was in London for
Wow.
3 years. I was in Aberdeen in Scotland for 4 years, so that was pretty fun.
Well, that's where your accent comes from.
My
Aberdeen.
You can tell I'm really bad at Scottish accents. I'm really bad at accents in general. I always end up sounding like Miss Doubtfire or something when I try. Like, it's just
So that's
pretty
exciting.
terrible.
You lived in London for
For 3 years.
3 years.
For 3 years, and then I lived in Scotland while I was going to college for 4 years, and I miss it. It was great. Like, I really enjoyed it. I love British television. I loved everything. I just had
Who
a great
doesn't
time.
love British television?
The best.
Quick rundown.
Tonight on BBC One, the action continues as we learn how candles are made. But first, things get a little rowdy with tonight's episode of Gerald Springer. Now put your hands together for your host, Gerald Springer! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a guest with us with a fascinating story. Please help me welcome Lady Mary Cornwallis. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Joe.
Mary, please tell us your story.
Well, basically, I was married to a man, and now I'm pregnant.
That is frightful. But Mary, I'm going to stop you for a moment because I have a surprise for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Sir Reginald Cornwallis of Canterbury.
You suck!
Hello, Gerald. Mary.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, now that we have all of the players here, I think it's time to put this to an end.
Yes. Fine with me, Gerald.
Sir Reginald, please refrain from these violent outbursts.
Yes. My apologies, Gerald.
You suck!
Apology accepted. Well, I have an envelope here with results of your DNA, Sir Reginald.
Right. Let's get this over with.
Sir Reginald, I shan't ask you again to please control yourself. Need I remind you there is a lady present?
Yes, again, my apologies, Gerald. Mary.
Boo! You suck!
Apology again accepted. So here are the results, Sir Reginald. You are the father of Mary's baby.
My word.
Well, that is enough, Sir Reginald.
Well, I'm sorry. My emotions got the better of me. It looks like I have no choice but to take my good lady wife home with our child.
I'm afraid it's too late for that, Sir Reginald. Due to your violent outbursts, I have contacted the local constables.
Quite right, Gerald.
Hello. What's all this then? Yes, officer. Would you be so kind as to take Sir Reginald into custody? I'm afraid we are all fearing for our lives.
Oh, Reginald, you monster!
It's a fair cop. I say off we go then.
So, resisting arrest then, are we?
Yes, I'm afraid so, old chap.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must ask you to avert your eyes from this ghastly scene.
Oh, Reginald, how could you?
Well, off to jail then, I suppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to tonight's show. Rest assured, Sir Reginald will be put to death by morning, so we shall all sleep well, knowing that the monster we have seen will never haunt our dreams again. Good night.
Boo! You suck!
Great British TV. Doctor Who, Orphan Black.
Orphan Black is Canadian.
It's British. She's
It's
British
Canadian.
on there.
She's Canadian.
She's totally British.
You know, it's called act.
But you know what? It's on BBC One, which is British, Cool One. That's what that stands for. Just so you know, British, Cool
Double
One.
British Broadcasting Channel? No? Okay.
Is that what it stands for? British Broadcasting?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah.
So see, British. It doesn't say CCTV, Canadian, Canuck. So, but yeah, British TV. So British TV over there. If I'm to understand, if I remember correctly, there's only 2 channels, and BBC One, BBC Two, and all they show is Parliament. Am I right? Is this an ugly American thing? Joe, do you want to weigh in on this?
It's
Shannon, worst TV ever.
It's not an ugly American thing, but there are 5 channels.
5. So see that, Americans? We have like 5 kajillion channels.
Well, see, if you pay for
These
cable,
poor
you can
Londoners only had 5 channels.
If
That's
you
rough.
pay for
That is
cable,
rough.
you can get more channels. But the 5 channels you get are BBC 1 and 2. You're right about that.
Hooray!
Then you have ITV. Then you have
And is
Channel
it all about?
4.
Is it all about you?
ITV? Oh, gosh. Oh, my
See what he
gosh.
did there? You see what he did?
Oh, no. And then we have
I love
Channel
having
5.
fun with the Caribbean people.
Really?
So, anyway, that's exciting. So, and from what I understand, from what I've learned, because I've learned everything I know from watching TV,
Okay.
is all the shows that they had on all 5 channels were all documentaries about insects, I'm thinking.
I'm going to say no. You know what they have, which is really cool? They have something called the Watershed. So the Watershed
It's
is...
about toilets. Am I correct?
Pass. No, you're wrong.
Oh, I'm so close.
The Watershed is this really cool thing they have. So they have, like, you know how we have regular channels if you don't have cable? They have 5 regular channels, but after a certain time of night, let's say 9 p.m., they can literally play
witching hour.
whatever they want
Like
on
porn
the TV.
and whatnot.
Yeah, because if your kids are supposed to be in bed, so they're like, well, if your kids aren't in bed, that's not our problem. They literally are like,
Nice.
they play The Sopranos unedited. They're like, here's The Sopranos and here's Sex and the City, like unedited. It's like, oh, cool. That's
Well,
how
this
they
is
roll.
the same country that has naked ladies in the newspaper.
Yes,
The
the
page
Sun.
3 girls, am I
Page
right?
3, The
True.
Sun. You're right.
They
You're
show
right.
boobies, teeth. And that's in the newspapers. Available to newborns everywhere. Little newborns walking past the newsstand can grab it and see boobs. What's up, England?
I think they see boobs in general, like every day. So
Yeah.
I don't really think there's much of a.
I was there.
Who's that? Who sees boobs every day?
Hey everybody, Big Danny D here. K-Pop, KPOP 99.2 on your radio dial. It is still bedlam outside, from what I understand. The dead rising from the grave, feasting on human flesh. But we still have a couple of Bon Jovi tickets left if you want to go downtown and see him this Friday night at the War Memorial Auditorium. Bon Jovi, everyone. Anyway, all you got to do is be the one that says the phrase that pays. Big Daddy D, Cashola, Payola. Be the 10th caller with that phrase, and you and a friend are going to see John Bon Jovi himself. Wanted, dead or alive. Just kidding, folks. He's going to be all kinds of alive down here at the War Memorial. Anyway, let's go to the phones. Caller, are you there?
Please, help me. I'm stuck in a shed. I'm in the Eastline Mall. I'm in a sporting goods store. Please, you have to send help. These things are surrounding me.
Yes, caller, you got to have the phrase that pays if you want to see John Bon Jovi this weekend.
Was that the phrase?
I'm sorry, you're on K-Pop Live, K-Pop, KPOP with Danny D. Do you have the phrase?
Lucky Larry's Lobster Mania?
Oh, that could have been a good one, but no.
President Cruz.
Still no.
President Cruz.
You are far off.
President Cruz?
It's Danny D.
President Trump?
Think of Danny D. Caller, it sounds like there's some people there. Maybe you could ask them for some help, because if you and a friend come up with the phrase that pays, you and that friend are going to see John Bon Jovi this weekend down at the War Memorial Auditorium.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Well, it seems we've lost that caller. Bobby, what's the problem with the engineering here? The calls seem to be dropping. Anyway, folks, we'll be back with more. And remember, the phrase that pays, Big Daddy D, Cashola Payola. Just be the 10th caller with that. And you can see John Bon Jovi. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.
Yeah, I was flipping through the channels, and I was watching, like you said, it was started like a documentary, and next thing you know, it's a show about a little German boy who's trying to become a prostitute, and he's just walking around with his wang out, and I'm like, what channel is this? Isn't this channel like 3 or something?
What are you watching?
Number one, I have some questions, Joe. Number one,
isn't this channel 3? I don't understand what I'm watching
First
here.
question, who sees boobs all the time? That's number one. Number two,
Babies.
What channel? Babies. See, babies.
And women.
Hogging on the
Sorry.
boobs.
We have our own set, so
Stupid
it's like,
babies.
Yeah.
And your boob fetish. Number two, Joe, what channel are you watching?
I swear it was like
when you're
channel
watching
3. It went from documentary to.
But this is here in America.
No, this was in England. This wasn't.
Okay.
You were in England.
Sticking in
This
England.
is
Yeah.
ITV, so it must have been ITV.
Yeah.
ITV is number
I was
3.
like, this is really bizarre. I
Okay,
don't
so
know
you're
what
in
the hell I'm
England
watching.
and you're watching some German child
It's
pornography.
it's like midnight.
And number 3, when is wang an acceptable term? Is that still an acceptable term? I mean, maybe I got the 3rd grade.
I don't think
I would say
I don't think they use wang over there. I think
Right?
it's Willy. It's
Willie. Okay.
Willy
Yeah,
they
I
use.
saw his Willie several times, and it was not enjoyable.
And now, once did you think of turning the channel? Just be like, oh, this show is horrifying. I'll just watch it for another hour or so.
I wanted to see where they were going with it. I'm like, I really wanted to see if he was going to get his, his job as a prostitute.
To follow his dream.
Yeah,
Will he achieve his dream of being a German boy prostitute?
And all the girls laughed at him. He ended up being a really good prostitute. It was a great movie. It
Good
was
for
moving.
him. So it's like Rudy, but in German.
Yes.
And instead of football, prostitution. And how old was this boy?
Over the legal age in England, what is that?
Which is 12.
Yeah,
right?
it's like 12, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, no. the legal age is 16. Please,
16.
Please educate yourself. Like,
Yes,
just-
Joe, come on. Stop watching your German
I'm not
porn.
bailing you
prostitute.
out of British jail. What is it? GAOL, whatever. I'm not bailing you out because I'm
I feel your questions remain unanswered, Joe. Because what were you doing watching this TV channel? And what were you doing in England? How long ago was this?
This was many a moon ago, and I was in Yorkshire.
You're,
I don't even know where
Yorkshire.
that is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yorkshire.
Were you kidnapped? It
That's-
sounds like you were kidnapped and taken over there.
You don't know where you were. You're like, I don't know where that was.
Was this a Taken type situation where you're hiding under a bed and it's like, quick, hide under the bed. P.S. You're still going to get taken. Which that was part of the movie I didn't really understand. Under the bed. And goodbye.
So you were in Yorkshire. As far as I can tell, the people in Yorkshire talk like the people in Lord of the Rings, which is hilarious. I thought it was really funny how they used that accent in Lord of the Rings for the Hobbits. I'm like, really? Okay, is that supposed to be charming?
The one thing I
Nice.
know about Yorkshire is that there is a dog named after Yorkshire and a pudding. So
The pudding's
Yorkshire
very good.
Terrier.
The pudding is very good. The pudding's
So
it's in England.
you went to the home of Yorkshire pudding and the Yorkshire Terrier. So it sounds kind of a weird town. Pudding
was.
and dogs. Was it nothing but pudding and dogs? Where
Pudding and dogs.
the streets are paved with pudding.
And it rains scones
And it
out of the sky.
This is craziness. England, oh, that's great.
You
Sounds
should
like
really go. I think you'd actually really enjoy it.
I want to go. I do. And that's the end of that.
Have you ever been out of the States?
I will not be smuggling. Yes, Mr. Smarty Pants.
Oh my gosh, a fact about Wayne.
Does this when you're up in a plane, technically you are out of the States because you're up in the sky.
Gosh. Nice,
I've been to Mexico. I am El Chavo. I have been to Canada. What? Yes.
Not a real country. Real countries.
America's hat.
I have been to the Bahamas. What? God, I'm getting closer to your Caribbean roots over here.
The Bahamas is not in that.
I've been to Ireland.
Oh,
I have been to the Soviet Union. And
whoa, you've been to the Soviet Union?
I have been, and I have been to Egypt.
Are you a sleeper spy?
And all things I'm saying are false right now.
That's what I was thinking.
No, I went to Egypt for a show that I was doing, a USO tour for the troops, and it turns out that was for Egyptian troops, and I couldn't speak a word of it. So turns out I was just passed around as a German male prostitute, which they filmed and put it on English TV. Oh my God, I just put two and two together. That was me in that documentary the whole time.
With your willy out. Jeez.
I'm sorry, Wang, here in America.
Yes, yeah, we're back in the U.
So, two things I want to know about British TV. Number one, do they have commercials over there? Is there like, wait a minute, buy this car. This car is awesome, nice. Do they have car commercials, like crazy car commercials?
They have car commercials on 3 of the channels. ITV, Channel 4, and Channel 5. BBC 1 and 2, they don't have commercials. They have commercials for upcoming, like, shows, just like HBO does. Like, hey, this show's coming on, and this show's coming on later on. But they don't have, like, ads because they're paid for it.
Is there any commercials over in England that's like, when it's like, blowout sale, it's Crazy Eddie's warehouse, welcome over to Crazy Eddie's. But in England, I would imagine be like, come down, we're mildly retarded, and we don't know how to price things correctly. So is it that big cultural difference, or do they have the craziness there? They have that.
Occasionally they have craziness there. They did give us Russell Brand, remember? They did.
Ooh, I wouldn't call it craziness. He's kind of like an STD that...
yeah.
I know. They didn't really want him. So
not a fan. Russell Brand, thumbs down. Demented Revolution.
So yeah, they have some craziness over there, but on the TV, no, actually. I mean, there are obviously.
Oh, this craziness just happens in the streets.
And there are crazy people, but like you're less likely to see Crazy Eddie or anything like that, or Crazy Edward or whatever that would be.
Crazy Edward. Hello, I'm Crazy Edward.
You're less likely to see it, but what I'm telling you, I do miss it. It was pretty good.
And is the teeth? How's the teeth?
Actually, the teeth are fine. They actually have free dental until they're 16.
Oh, that would explain it.
The only thing is they don't worry about straightening the teeth. They just make sure you have teeth.
Unlike here in America, we're straight, but there's only 2 teeth in your head.
They're all rotting out. Yeah.
And you have to pay for it. So yeah.
Interesting. British TV. Where will it end? By that sound you hear, it is time for Joe's Horror Corner.
Welcome back to another edition of Joe's Horror Corner. What's up, kiddies, boys, and ghouls? What's going on? We got another interesting horror corner for you today. What I want to do today is we're going to break down the genres and subgenres of horror movies. My favorite of all the genres. But what we got here is we got about 5 main types and a bunch of like subtypes. All right, let's go through them. The first one, the gore and the disturbing. This is your torture porn movies, your Hostel, your Saws. Eli Roth, he's all in this category. This is more your shock value styled movies. Some are not even scary. I would just say they're cringeworthy. They make you like, ugh. They make you want to look away. Another category we have is psychological horror. Okay, psychological horror movies are kind of ones that play with your mind. We were saying earlier, like The Shining. You could say it's like he's going crazy, or like Psycho, the movie Psycho. He thinks he's his mom the whole time. These kind of more play with your mind. A more recent one that just came out was The Witch. Not very scary, but it makes you think. Psychological. Okay, then we have Killer. This is probably my favorite of the of all the types. This is like your slashers, your classical like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. It's just you got a main killer. He can't be stopped. He's killing everything in sight. Don't have sex. Don't have anything, because you're getting killed. Thank you, Rocco. Okay, then we have our monsters. These are a lot of your classical movies like with the werewolf, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Dracula, Nosferatu. These kind of all go into that. And we also have like zombies fall under the monster category. And we have like, which there are two types of zombies. You have your undead, those who raise from the dead or come back from the dead, and then you have the infected, and these have been infected by a virus that turns them into this crazy, blood-eating freaking freak. And then we have the paranormal type movies, another category. Paranormal. Yeah. Then we have the paranormal category. This is like your ghosts, your spirits, your possessions. You have like The Exorcist, The Haunting, the Amityville Horrors, The Grudge, Poltergeist. There's a lot of these movies. Probably my least favorite of all categories. Just ghosts and your picture falling off the wall just doesn't really scare me that much. Then we have like some sub-genres. You have sci-fi horror, your aliens, your predators, which also go under monster, but these are aliens, so it's sci-fi horror. We have comedy horror, movies like Shaun of the Dead, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. A new one that just came out was a Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Really liked it. It was really hilarious and had some good horror aspects to it. And I like this one. It's its own. It's the creepy kid genre, because let's face it, kids are just terrifying. Okay, so, we're gonna be back after a few. We're gonna find out what everybody's favorite scary movies are. Back right after this.
Hey folks, Big Danny D here at K-Pop KPOP 99.2 on your radio dial. 30 minutes past the hour and temperatures are skyrocketing to a balmy 175 degrees in the shade. Ouch! Don't forget your sunscreen. According to the wire service, most people are calling this the end of days, with the dead rising to the graves and feasting on human flesh. But now a giant sinkhole has opened up downtown, which experts claim is a portal to hell itself. Sightings of horned beasts and demonic possessions riddle the city. But hey, don't let that stop you from being the 10th caller here with the phrase that pays. Big Danny D, cashola, payola. And you and a friend are going to see John Bon Jovi at the War Memorial this weekend. So we're going to go to the phones. Remember, 10th caller, be the one with the phrase that pays here at K-Pop KPOP. It's Big Danny D, cashola, payola. Caller number 1, are you there? No? Caller number 2. Still nothing. It's caller number 3. Caller? Caller, do you have the phrase that pays? Caller, if you have the phrase that pays, you could be going to see John Bon Jovi this weekend. Just give us the phrase that pays. I'm going to help you out. Big Danny D is the beginning of it. Big Danny D. Okay.
If you need help,
Man,
hang
we can't
up
seem
and
to
then dial
give
your
these
operator.
tickets away here. Anyway, folks, the phrase that pays, Big Danny D, cashola, payola, is the phrase that you want to say if you're the 10th caller here at K-Pop, KPOP, and you're going to go see John Bon Jovi live at the beautiful War Memorial Auditorium downtown this weekend. Anyway, folks, we're going to be back with more right after this.
And we're back to Joe's Horror Corner, boys and ghouls. Okay, we got some. I want to learn some things about my revolutionaries here. What are your favorite scary movies all time? Favorite scary movie doesn't have to be under one genre or another, but favorite scary movie. Wayne.
Oh, my favorite scary movie. It's that's kind of tough. I would say because it's not. It is not that it scared me. But I just think it still holds up to this day. I enjoy watching it all the time. I think it's a great pacing in the paranoia aspect, which is John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Oh, classic.
Love it, because I think it does have gore in there. There is a monster. There's a whole. See, look at that movie alone. Gore, monster, psychological, all in one.
Definitely,
boom,
absolutely.
boom, boom. And so that's always been a favorite of mine.
Did you like the remake?
Well, it wasn't a remake. It was a prequel.
Okay, true.
And I never saw it.
Okay.
But I do know it was a prequel. I have not seen that, but The Thing, and I got to meet John Carpenter. I'll tell you more about that during my segment, Joe. So, anyway, The Thing is my all-time favorite, I'll say.
All right. How about you, Shannon?
All-time favorite? I would have to say this isn't really my favorite. This is just the movie that freaks me out the most. The Ring. I know it seems silly, but the first time I watched The Ring, I literally watched it in a creepy old house in London, all by myself in the middle of the night. And I swear, when that girl started coming out of the TV, I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, this is how I'm gonna die in the stupidest way possible. I just was totally freaked out, and it's a movie that I still can't even watch again. Like, in my mind, I know it's a movie. I know this is all special effects, but every time I watch it, I'm just so creeped out. And I think there's some psychological horror in there as well. Like, that just freaked me out. So Japanese movies can get me that way.
And it's got that creepy kid once again. Those kids
Creepy kid.
are scary, man.
I actually have a The Ring story. So The Ring, when I first watched it, because I heard everybody was, scary, crazy, scary. And I watched it, and I was bored, senseless. Thought it was just not scary at all. Stupid. Watched the whole thing and was just like, whatever, this is dumb. Afterwards, now back in the day, this is something that bothers me, is that DVDs used to come with Easter eggs and all kinds of fun stuff on them. Now they just throw them out there. But the Ring Easter egg was the video, that the Ring that you watch. That was one of the Easter eggs, and it was under a tab on the screen that said, "Don't watch this." So of course you're like, "Oh, okay." Now it was about 3 a.m. I was by myself. I hit watch this, and so you see all these disturbing images that you saw, but it's all cut together. So I watched the tape, right, that you're not supposed to watch, and it was disturbing, and dead horses and people and whatever. And so it's like, okay, got it. Yeah, now I've seen the tape. Whatever, no big deal. Now in the movie, you watch the tape, and then the phone will ring, and it'll say 7 days,
right? And
you have 7 days to get your shit together. So I watched the tape, and I was like, not disturbed, and then my phone rang. And that is a true story, and I thought I was going to die. And so that's The Ring. So I give it to The Ring that they scared me. And every time I tell this story, people are like, "Who was on the phone?" I'm like, I must have blacked out. I have no idea who was calling me at 3 a.m. All I know is that I watched that thing, and right after my phone rang, and I just my bowels went goodbye, and that was it. So yeah,
but he's still alive, so didn't work.
Or did it? Am I really here? Oh.
I see dead people. No. Favorite scary movie all time it's a classic. I never get tired watching it. It is Evil Dead 2, my favorite, with Bruce Campbell.
Is that not more of a comedy?
It has all the aspects. It has your monster, your possession. It has some comedy in there. It's
Evil Dead 2. I will hand to. I think it is much better than Evil Dead 1.
Yes.
Which has the porn star acting in it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, so
now, I'm sorry, Joe, go.
So those were our favorite scary movies. How about one that scared you the most? Like really shocked the shit out of you? Any ones that you couldn't watch that made you kind of turn away from?
There is one movie that I thought was very good. I'm not a fan of found footage movies. You know, found footage movies where it's like, oh, we found the video, we pieced it together.
Bad wedding video in the woods. Got it.
Yes.
Hate it.
But there's one called, I believe it's called My Little Eye, and it was made. It's a UK movie. It was made ages ago with a very young Brad Cooper in it, and it's basically like this Big Brother house.
I'm sorry. Do you
Bradley
mean
Cooper.
Bradley Cooper?
I know him.
Some of us
personally.
are not on his.
I know him personally.
Good old
Brad Cooper.
B Cooper.
Brad Cooper.
I call him I call him the bees. Here comes the bee coops.
I call him Coop.
All right, Bradley. So for those just tuning in, Bradley Cooper, or Shannon knows him in the Caribbean, Brad Cooper was in a movie called My Little Eye.
Yes, it was called My Little Eye. So this is a found footage movie, and it's based around the idea that there's these people in this Big Brother-like house, and they're in this house, and there's a bunch of surveillance cameras, and they're being surveilled, and they have to live there for maybe like a few months, and then whoever is well liked will win, and that's it. But they're completely isolated. They're in the middle of the woods, and
But they're in a house or in their woods.
No, they're in a house in the woods.
Okay.
So they're in a house in the woods, and it's surrounded, and it's got lots of surveillance cameras. So the whole point is that everyone's like, okay, we've only got like a week left. Finally we're getting out of this place. And they notice stuff is starting to become a little strange. So they're like, okay, let's go into the area where there's no cameras. And does anybody have an internet connection? Let's see if we can figure out what the hell's going on. But obviously,
now, what's going on that's so strange that leads them to let's go to this restricted access that we've never been to before?
Because as it turns out, the purpose of the house is to kill all the people in the house live on TV. It's part of the dark web.
Spoiler. But what was weird that was happening? Like what was like, hey, that's uncalled for.
It's possible. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I think it's possible that they were trying to figure out the purpose, or maybe they were talking and they were like, okay, none of these things add up because I was in here. I was put in here for this reason. I was put in here for that reason.
So they started talking to each other finally.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All our birthdays are the same. What?
This
Your
is
mom's
weird.
name's Martha too?
You're my best friend.
I'm totally messing it up, but it is a really good film because it's filmed all obviously through surveillance cameras. It's really interesting.
And this terrified you.
It really did. There are a lot of parts that I thought were really well done. It's very intense just watching a conversation between people. One of the things that bothers me about
so
found
talking
footage,
terrifies you.
one of the things that bothers me about found footage movies is the fact that
That it was found.
who is holding the camera? Half of the time, somebody's clearly holding the camera, but everybody is in the scene, and I'm like, no, don't do that. That's the worst. I hate that. He's like, no. So at least this one, they were very clear about it, and the end was very good. Like, I'm totally not.
All right, we'll have to check that one out.
I think you would like it, John.
Spy. What is it called?
I believe it was called My Little
My
Eye.
Little Eye.
My Little Eye with a young Brad Cooper.
Brad B. Coops.
B. Coops.
B. Coops.
Wayne, scary movie that's just shocked the shit out of you.
Shocked
Scared
me.
you.
Scariest movie. It's as I grow older. I remember back in my day, pterodactyls would fly overhead. There was obviously movies were scarier, when I was a child. There was one movie as a child that terrified me. And oh my God, I remember growing up always thinking about this movie like, oh my God, scariest movie ever. And I would tell everybody about it. And finally, videos came out. This is right around the time of electricity. And I got a copy of it and watched it. And I was like, this is the most stupidest film I've ever seen. Phantasm. You ever see Phantasm?
Yes.
And it was that tall guy that was like, boy.
Yeah, that old guy.
That as soon as they close and they would close the door and he'd be like hanging up on the back of the door, yeah, boy. Yeah. And as a kid, I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying. And then when I watched it later, I was like, oh my God, I'm stupid. So, but I would say the one movie that has scared me to this very day. So from a child all the way up till today, I still hold an irrational fear about this movie, and is Jaws.
Okay.
Jaws. Terrified me as a youngster. I grew up not around the ocean, and so I just figured the ocean is teeming with sharks. You could walk across their backs. They're just sharks. And when I finally did see the ocean, and I remember my first time seeing it and seeing how vast it was and how huge it was, and that was the first thought in my mind is, how many sharks are in that water right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
I
wait.
think it had the same effect on a lot of people.
I think they can
They really
smell me.
did.
They can smell my fear.
Definitely.
To this day, I am uncomfortable going into the ocean. I am uncomfortable going into a swimming pool. I am uncomfortable taking a shower. Anything with water. I'm comfortable drinking any water. It's like, there's sharks. Oh, I can't drink this water. There's tiny sharks inside. But I will admit, all joking aside, that my fear is so intense from Jaws that there have been times where I have been in a swimming pool by myself, and I dive underwater, and all of a sudden in my mind a great white shark is right there, and I have to get out of the pool to calm myself down.
Wow.
Not that I am shaking and crying, as far as you know. Please, that found footage. No, don't show up that found footage. But I literally, it's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna step outside this pool here for a moment, and nope, can't put my feet in because sharks will eat my feet. But yeah, so that
lasting
that is,
effects this movie had.
Wow.
Nice.
Jaws,
actually gave you a phobia almost.
It did.
Yeah.
That is my phobia is sharks, and so Shark Week comes on, and I watch it, and I'm just crying the entire time, being like, they're gonna come on land soon.
It's like a period. It's like when you get your period.
It is exactly like Shark Week is me menstruating. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Terrified me the one time I saw on Shark Week the sharks that leap out of the water and get
just destroy anything.
helicopters or whatever they're grabbing, and I'm just like they're taking over. Soon they will be walking on land.
So Sharknado, scariest movie ever.
Terrifying Sharknado.
They're like flying.
Horrible. I guess another phobia of mine is something in the water pipes that will come up through the toilet when you're sitting on there.
Oh.
A snake, a hand.
Toilet bugs. It's a real thing.
Great white sharks.
Okay.
Whatever.
Something that actually did scare me when I was a kid. Do you remember Look Who's Talking? That silly movie with
Bruce
John Travolta?
Willis. Bruce Willis as the baby.
Yes, Bruce Willis has a baby. Remember that ridiculous scene where the kid is learning how to potty train, I think in the second one, and the
it turns into a monster?
No,
I was a
do
kid
not
when I
remember
watched
that,
that, and it freaked me out. I was like, I know that they were trying to obviously, be like, oh, look, this kid is scared of the toilet. Then I became scared of it. Like this.
To this day, Shannon cannot go to the bathroom.
Does not use toilets till this day.
I am literally full of it, guys. I am literally full of it. But that was very scary for me as a kid. I was just like, oh my God, it freaked me out because my toilet had one of those coverings,
It had teeth on it, and I said no.
And it talks.
It scared me. It really scared me. I don't care what you say. It scared the crap out of me. No,
Literally.
it kept the crap in me because I was so scared.
Best horror movie for Shannon. Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking 2.
Two, not even the first one. The sequel. The sequel was worse.
Just like Evil Dead 2.
Amazing. Well, we're really digging deep here.
There's good stuff
I think
in the horror
I found
corner.
my route, guys. I found my route.
Okay, most shocking movie I ever watched. And just like you, Wayne, I watched it years later. I'm like, this? But it was this movie called, as B-rated as they come. Terrible movie. The story was awful, but the movie's called Castle Freak.
Castle Freak.
Castle Freak. And it's about a family, and it does like one of those flashback sequences, and they get into a car accident, and somehow the car crashed. They don't show what happened, but all of a sudden the kid falls out of the car, and the guy's like, "No, where are you? I lost. He's gone. Like, go. The kid is down there. Go look for the kid. Did he just fall out? He's just rolling down the hill. I don't understand." So the kid's gone. So then
and they continue on their way.
They just get in the car and they never speak of this again. We can't talk about your brother. He's dead. Are you sure? I mean, I don't think we saw him.
I have had so many vacations exactly like this.
So
never speak of her again. She just went out to get some cigarettes. Oh, I thought she was dead.
So then some old woman finds this kid, and he's gonna be her whipping boy. So she just keeps him at home in this cage. Well, she lives in a castle, obviously. He's a castle freak. And she just goes in there every so often and just whips the shit out of him, leaves him in there. And then somehow, years later, the family drives and finds this actual castle. And
they're still driving around? We can't get out of this neighborhood.
and
you can't read a map, Martha.
Now the daughter fell out now. Oh, whoops.
Is that true? Another kid fell out?
No, the kid didn't fall out.
This is the Bermuda Triangle of cars.
But then the castle freak picks him off one by one and gets revenge on his family for leaving him in this ditch. And just the way this fucking kid, like, he was just really disfigured and he's
disfigured from the whippings,
from the whippings.
Because he just was
from the whippings.
The whippings.
Because I was thinking that maybe he was disfigured already, and the family was like, no great loss. He was really kind of hard to look at.
Maybe. I remember him being like a cute little kid. So they're probably just trying to get rid of him. They're probably sick of him.
How old were you when you watched this movie?
I was young. This is definitely an 80s horror, like
Okay.
one of those cheesy 80s movies.
I never even heard of it. Castle Freak.
Yeah. Oh, and
quick question: B. Coop's in it?
B. Coop's? No,
was
it wasn't
Brad Coop's in it?
I don't think you're gonna recognize any actors in this one, but. So yeah, anytime I was in the dark, I just see this castle freak run up behind me and put his hand over my mouth and just kill me and take me away. But definitely a very scary movie for me. I watched it again today and it was just awful movie. No longer scared of it. But
is there? But I think did we get on this? Is there a movie that to this day has instilled a fear of something in you?
One movie that it's kind of dumb, but it really did instill like
Can it be any dumber than Look Who's Talking To?
I don't think that bad.
I was a kid. I was a child.
And still to this day, she cannot go to the bathroom like a normal human being.
The movie Signs. I don't know why. The M. Night Shyamalan film. It just, I was scared I was going to be abducted by aliens. Until
to this day.
Till this day, I still believe in it truly that aliens come and probe us anally on a constantly basis.
Of course, because why wouldn't a superior race want to stick their fingers into our rectums? Of course, it makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense.
Your logic is unbreakable.
Well, this has been Joe's Horror Corner. We will catch you next time.
Okay, folks, Big Danny D here, K-Pop, KPOP. You know, it's coming to the end of the show, and we still have these tickets to John Bon Jovi. Quick update, the dead have taken over the city, it seems like, and they are still feasting on human flesh. There is still a portal to hell opened up downtown, where a lot of people are being possessed, a lot of projectile vomiting, etc., etc. But you need to say the phrase that pays, folks. The phrase that pays. Big Danny D, cashola payola, if you want to go see Bon Jovi live this weekend at the War Memorial. We're going to go to the phones right now. So, caller, are you there with the phrase that pays? Caller, I believe we spoke to you earlier. Do you have the phrase that pays? Caller, I'm going to hang up if you do not give me the phrase that pays so you can go see John Bon Jovi.
Big Daddy D, cashola payola.
Yes, caller, that is it. That is the phrase that pays. Yes, you, my friend, are going to see John Bon Jovi this weekend live at the War Memorial. You're listening to Big Daddy D, K-Pop, sir. Congratulations. You and a friend going to see Bon Jovi live. Courtesy of K-Pop, KPOP, 99.2 on your radio dial.
Welcome back to the Demented Revolution, ladies and gentlemen, recruits, new and old. By that sound, it only means one thing. It's time for movie chit-chat.
Movie
chit-chat. Okay, everybody, we're here with movie chit-chat. I've got like 5 stories here that I'm interested in hearing your opinion on, guys. This one is probably my favorite one. I've got to know what you think about this. Okay. What did you guys think about the Fast and Furious movies? What did you think? Joe?
First couple I enjoyed, then it just started getting, same story over and over again. Car chase. It just got old for me. I'm not that big of a car head. Some people are.
Okay. What about you, Wayne? What did you think?
I saw one of them. I don't know which one it is, and that pretty much spoiled me from driving. I'm terrified of cars now and toilets.
Cars and toilets. Wow, that's amazing. It's like we're twins. Okay, so here's the thing. They've cast a new actor as a villain, an Academy Award-winning actor as a villain.
Isn't, I'm sorry, but I know that we're up to number 6, 7?
This is 8.
So we're up to 8.
8.
Number 1, wasn't Vin Diesel the villain? I think I saw number 1.
He wasn't the villain, he was an anti-hero.
Which means villain.
Anti-hero.
Really? If you're anti-hero, you are a villain.
No, there's protagonist and antagonist. He wasn't the antagonist, he was an anti-hero.
He was
I'm just going to keep saying
He's a villain.
Okay. So yeah, but
I'm not saying he was Cruella de Vil, like, oh, give me the puppies and I'll make a car out of it.
He was the foil to Paul Walker. How about that?
Well, when you say that, it makes me think of like Abbott and Costello, like, hey, who's on first? Meh. But because that's exactly how that goes.
Yes.
But he was the bad guy.
He was the guy they were trying to stop, who he found out.
And why would they try to stop somebody? Because he was bad.
Not because he was bad. It's because the.
Really? The cops are out there trying to stop good people? Hey, I saw you giving that food to orphans. Stop it, you!
Fast and Furious was basically Point Break. Again, it was like a.
Oh, those guys who robbed banks with guns. No, they're not criminals. They're anti-non-criminals. What?
Anti-heroes. But yes, so in the end, obviously, he ended up sympathizing with Vin Diesel's
anti-life bringers.
He ended up sympathizing with his character. Okay, Charlize Theron is joining the Fast and Furious franchise.
Ooh.
Yes.
Why does they call her CT?
CT? Is that
Me and D.
Theron?
Coops.
Is it Theron or is it
It's Theron. I'm sorry. Okay. It's Theron.
Game of Theron.
I should really be more sensitive. She is African American. That's all. So, yes. Okay. So, yeah.
Charlie. Her name's Charlie, right?
No.
Charlie Theron.
Charlie Theron. Charlie Theron.
Charlie Theron.
So Charlize, yeah, she's going to be the villain in Fast 8. I thought that was really interesting because it's obvious they don't care. They just want to keep going with these movies.
Like, hey, you want to be in Fast Furious? Sure, no problem.
Because they make a cajillion dollars. That's
they
why.
They make tons of money. And not only that, but
copyrighted by Demented Revolution.
They get surprisingly good reviews. I think it's mainly because the people are like, well, this is going to be silly, so whatever.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that the first one had like a basic story, like you said, like kind of Point Break-ish, I guess you could say, like whatever. So I'm trying to stop the good guy, Vin Diesel, from spreading love in the world. But then I don't know how long before it just went off into this cartoony, we are the James Bond, spies of the world type thing. Does anybody know what movie that finally broke away from that?
I would say that was probably number 5 because number 4 was.
So wow, they kept it. They kept the anti-hero storyline up to 5.
Well, I would say up until 4. That's when Paul Walker was still on the good side of number 4, and then he had to track everybody down, and then he finally was like, "All right, I give up," and he became part of the villains, if you like, the villains of the movie. And the 5th one, they were like, okay, now we're people who have specialized skills, and we can do pretty much anything, including dragging a safe through the streets of Rio. Like, that's how they rolled. So, yeah, I'd say 4 is around the time where they just kind of threw that out the window, and 5 is when they were like, okay, it doesn't really matter anymore.
And so they are basically all international men of mystery, right?
Pretty much at this point.
They're James Bond.
You're right, like all different skills and.
Pretty much. I don't know if you noticed, but 3 of the movies that were made are actually prequels to the 3rd movie.
No, like I said, I saw the first one and then
4, 5, and 6 are
poured bleach in my eyes.
Are prequels to the 3rd movie, which is hilarious to me. Yeah, it's pretty strange. In the 7th one, they actually had one of the characters from the 3rd movie come in, and he looks so dramatically older. I was like, why even bother? Like, just like you should have CGI'd him, like make him look younger. It's been like 15 years. But yeah, so Fast 8 is coming out April 14th, 2017. Set your marks, guys.
Charlize Theron. Game of Theron.
I thought that was pretty interesting, but okay. Hey,
I don't know if she'd do a good villain. No, she did that. She's the what do you call it?
Snow White.
There you go. Thank you.
She was actually the best part about that movie, which is very disappointing.
Which they're coming up with a sequel.
Prequel.
Oh, it's a prequel?
Yes.
But it's got what's his name in there?
Yes.
Thor's in there.
It's a prequel. She died at the end of the first.
Spoiler.
What? For a 3-year-old movie.
Oh, I never saw it. I was gonna watch it tonight. You're the worst.
So it's a prequel as far as I can tell, which is just terrible.
But her sister's in this one. It's like it's like Frozen. It's like a darker version of Frozen from what I can see by the
darker version of Frozen.
That's what
the Ice Queen.
That's what it looks like. Every time I watch the thing, it's like, is this Frozen live action? But what's her name is playing the sister, who I have a huge crush on. Is Emily Blunt. Have a huge crush on her.
Okay.
So Emily, if you're listening, or E Blunt, as I like to call her, I am available.
Well, then you will find this interesting. There is a sequel being made to Edge of Tomorrow. What did you think of Edge of Tomorrow? She was in it.
Loved Edge of Tomorrow, except for the ending.
Except for the end.
But loved it, and I thought it was the one movie that just kind of snuck through that nobody thought about, nobody bothered to see. Tom Cruise, who cares? He did that movie Oblivion, so everybody was like, he's just on his Scientology movies. But Edge of Tomorrow, I watched on a fluke. I was like bored one day. Let me take a look, and it was like, I love this movie. Thought it was great, and but I thought the ending was a little bit stupid, but whatever. But still, yes. But thumbs up, Edge of Tomorrow, Demented Revolution. Thumbs up, Edge of Tomorrow.
Thumbs up already. Yeah. So
But
it's got the go ahead, and they just found the people to write it. So.
But I don't like that sequel. I'm not a big fan of that sequel because I mean it wasn't like, hey, I found a power to travel back into time. It was because he had the alien blood on him or in him. Or
so
whatever.
What you think it should be a spin-off, like a different character having the same issue? Or the same problem,
I just don't think they should touch that story. It was good on its own.
So you
just
don't
leave
think
it
they
alone.
should do the time loop at all, or just
no,
nothing?
it's just. I mean, it'd be one thing if it's like, hey, look what I discovered. If I put a fork in a toaster, I can go back in time. It's like, okay, then you can have all your adventures. But the fact that I accidentally got alien blood on me, what are the chances of that happening again? Especially if by the second one they defeated all the aliens.
Whoops.
You got your alien blood in my peanut butter. My peanut butter's in your alien blood. Wah, wah.
Okay. Oh my God.
So a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow.
Sequel to Edge of Tomorrow.
Which,
I'm excited. I'm looking forward
which
to it.
wasn't the original, or how did they change the?
It was a manga called All You Need Is Kill.
But it was originally called The Edge of Tomorrow, and then American audiences didn't like it, so they retitled it
changed it
Live,
on
Die,
the
Repeat.
Live, Die, Repeat for the DVD release.
Which I thought was stupid. It should
That
have.
was really strange. Why did they? I really liked the original title, All You Need Is Kill, but also the original title had a 15-year-old in the.
Now we're
yeah,
back
so I
to
guess
Joe
they were
watching
like-
TV in England.
Well, a 15-year-old Asian, and they were like, okay, we can't have that. No,
The worst.
No, just put 50-year-old white guy. Makes sense.
But
But it
but
was
Edge
still
of Tomorrow, even though it makes no sense, it's still a much better title than Live, Die, Repeat.
Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I don't know what they were going for, but yeah. So speaking of repeating, here's another reboot. Joel McHale is going to play Chevy Chase in Netflix's National Lampoon Origins. Now, there's so many different things in that one sentence that bother me.
In when you say, and I don't know if you have the details on this, Origins, as in this is how Chevy Chase, the actual Chevy Chase, like how he started and came to be, or is this like, what do you mean? What's happening here, Shannon? What's happening? Shannon, damn it, Shannon.
Joel McHale is in final negotiations to portray Chevy Chase in Netflix's tragic story of National Lampoon co-founder Douglas Kenny, a futile and stupid gesture. So it's not him playing that particular character.
It's the origin of,
Chase.
but it's the origin of National Lampoon.
Yes.
Oh, I see what this is. Okay, so he's just this is Chevy Chase actually. Okay, I got it. Relax, Demented Revolution viewers.
Yes.
And stop viewing it, just listening to it. Stop watching this. This is ridiculous. We're radio.
So what do you think? I like Kevin McHale. I like Joel McHale, but I don't know if he
Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
No.
I mean, he's.
Well, we'll see. We'll see because
is he just like a tall guy? Like, I don't know what similarities they found, except for the fact. Well, you know what? He could probably do a really good Chevy Chase impersonation from all of his years of being on Community. So
I saw. They're very true. I saw a Monty Python movie. Well, it wasn't a Monty Python. It was a movie about the members of Monty Python when they did Life of Brian, and all the backlash that they got from the religious community about Life of Brian, how they went on TV. Is really actually a very good movie, and whoever cast it, they cast it so well, like everybody looked like them. If you squinted and we're like, I think that might be them.
tilted your head.
But then, when you're watching it, it's obviously not them. But there was enough resemblance there that you were like, okay. Whereas Joel McHale, he doesn't even resemble Chevy Chase at all, that might be an issue.
We'll see. Well, especially after Straight Outta Compton, they're doing a good job at matching.
Finding the lookalikes, right?
I mean, Straight Outta Compton even bred a lookalike. They said to Ice Cube, "Okay, we're gonna need you to get cracking and get a son that looks just like you, and let's."
That's dedication.
That is dedication. We're making a movie in a few years, so we need you to get going. But I thought it was interesting that they chose Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale. Why do I keep saying Kevin McHale? Kevin McHale was an actor on Glee. What the heck?
Oh.
Kevin McHale.
Surprisingly enough, Kevin McHale. Afraid of toilets as well. Aww. Match made in heaven.
Oh my god.
This is awkward.
I did want to talk about another story that I thought it was interesting. Kingsman. You guys like Kingsman, right?
Did.
Okay. Well, obviously they're doing a sequel, and I don't.
Which I don't know how I feel about that.
Did you see the poster for the sequel? I think you've
did.
seen it, Wayne. What do you think?
I don't know if spoiler alert. Coming up ahead, spoiler alert for those who have not seen Kingsman or the poster for the Kingsman 2. It is hinting that the character is coming back that was blatantly killed in the first one.
Blatantly.
On video by a villain or anti-hero, Shannon.
Really?
that was killed, shot in the head, and
Point blank.
yeah. So there's really kind of no getting around it. So I'm really, I don't think I'm.
You're just like, no.
I mean, yeah. Come on, guys. I don't know. However you're going to do the story, if it's like this was my clone, this was my twin, this was, or I had a bad.
Right in and out. Didn't even touch any major.
Yeah, like it's gonna be. We've had him on life support all this time, and actually, we have this special Kingsman Lazarus pit. He's cured.
I think this is a response to the fact that Colin Firth was really good. In
You said his
love
name.
him.
It's out.
Okay.
Colin Firth, the mentor of
Harry, yes.
of young Eggsy from
young
Kingsman, who was killed after his murderous rampage at the church, is coming back, or it's hinting that he's coming back.
It's hinting that he's coming back. I think a lot of people didn't expect him to be so good in the movie. Now, Colin Firth is always good in movies, but he was just so great in this
But
one.
not
I really
in
enjoyed
action
it.
movies.
In an action movie, you're correct.
That's the thing. You don't expect to see Colin Firth in action films.
And he was very good in this action movie, and I think because of that, maybe they don't want to launch the franchise with Eggsy and Roxanne, I suppose. They're just like, okay, let's bring back one of the characters who blatantly died. Then why just bring everybody back? Bring the girl with knives for legs. She was awesome. Like, I mean...
Oh, Giselle.
That's not her. Who are you talking about?
What was her name?
She was not Giselle, who's married to Tom Brady.
What? What's happening?
She's not Giselle.
But you can call people different names and stuff.
Just call her
in our made-up world of film.
In our made-up world of film. But yeah, that actress, she's a dancer, and she's actually going to be in the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek Beyond, as an alien.
With those knives as legs? Weird.
That would be awesome. But I mean, if you're gonna bring him back, bring everybody back. I think it's gonna.
They're probably going based on the most popular scene. I know anybody talks about the movie. Oh, the church part, the church scene, and then they're probably just, we gotta bring them back.
I wasn't a fan of the church scene. Not enough blood.
I wasn't a fan of the church scene because I felt like it kind of glorified it. Like, yeah, the people were jerks, but hey, look at
like
all these racists being killed. Like,
it was kind of like the Westboro Baptist Church getting its comeuppance in a movie. That's pretty much what it was. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I think in the comic it actually was the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh my gosh, was it?
I could be wrong. This could have been something I had in a drunken stupor when I was reading, but yeah, I know that's what they're going for in Kingsman was, it's the Westboro Baptist Church, bunch of racist redneck whatever getting murdered. So you didn't care. Yeah, so you didn't care. But yeah, if you watch that, it's just not enough blood. My God, he killed how many people in that church, and there was like hardly a speck of blood around, and it's like, come on, man. That place should have been just like caked in it.
But
exactly. I want the elevator doors open. Gosh, blood all over the place.
For a movie that was rated R, there was a lack of blood in a lot of scenes. Remember when she sliced that guy in half in the beginning?
That's what I'm saying.
And she covered him with a sheet, and I'm like, that sheet should be red. What the heck?
There was no blood in Kingsman. That was I don't know if that was intentional.
I think it was intentional. I think they were probably wavering on PG-13 or rated R for a while, and then they were like, "Okay, let's just go for it."
I know the director did say that at the end, when everybody's head exploded, spoiler, that he said we couldn't do it like realistically because that would literally be probably the most bloodiest scene in cinematic history. Which, okay, I'll give you that because you had almost like 100 people's head exploding. I can see that being kind of, really gory and over the top. But that's just the thing. Go over the top with it, and I think people would have been a lot more fun. Blood Simple. Have you seen the movie Blood Simple?
No, I have not.
Blood Simple. Nope. Must see it. They effectively use blood and a lot of it throughout that movie. RoboCop, the original, the X-rated version.
Well, RoboCop, yes, but RoboCop was kind of like a satire or parody of like.
That's what I'm saying.
It was.
Which I think Kingsman was a satire parody of James Bond movies.
Okay.
And but it's like you're gonna go over the top with which RoboCop. They went over the top when that one Ed 2000 was shooting that guy and just pumped 4,000 bullets into him. They're showing how it's just like that over-excessive, over-the-top, comic booky type thing. Do it like that, but It really, to me, it really took me out of the movie. It's like I'm watching this guy slaughter all these people, and there's not even a speck of blood anywhere. And that just, not like I'm a gore hound, but I just, I would have liked to see a little blood. Show me a little blood.
Show me a little blood. And with that...
there will be blood where there was no blood. What? What? I drink your milkshake, sir.
All right, everybody, that's movie chit-chat for the week.
Movie
This here's a Demented Revolution. And the clock on the wall says the Demented Revolution is coming to a close, but fear not, my faithful recruits. We will be back again, so make sure. Joe, is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, go ahead and like us on our Facebook page, Demented Revolution. Follow us on Twitter, @Demented Revolution. And subscribe to our YouTube account. We'll be posting new things constantly at Demented Revolution.
And also, I'd like to give a hat tip to Birth Movies Death, as well as Deadline.com for the movie Chit Chat.
And, of course, we don't want to forget bensounds.com. For all of your music needs, go to bensounds.com. Fantastic music, fantastic prices. It's free. Anyway, this is Codename Wayne saying, Joe? This is Codename Wayne.
Codename Joe.
Codename Shannon.
Saying, keep revolutioning. I was trying to think, keep what? Okay.
Stay demented, everyone.
You have reached the end of the internet. To continue listening, please turn the internet over and press play. Thank you.